Afternoon, everybody. How are we all doing? Ready for another lovely New York session. So I managed to grab back some profit this morning. Went to 0.7% down this morning. And carried on trading this short, basically, as we pulled back. So I got into an entry there, another one there, and got out of them all down there. And another one there, which I had to get out of. Just averaged the whole lot. Basically got down to here, so I wanted to get out as we hit this double bottom. So not a bad morning so far. Took off the pound US dollar trade as well. So I got stopped out on that. I put that stop there just ahead of the news. CPI news did nothing to the US dollar. Haven't moved an iota, just sideways. Afternoon Diamond. So nothing particularly exciting happened on that at all, unfortunately. Just clear all this rubbish up. I'll just give it all this loads of old orders. Okay. I still got the yen on. Still not got anywhere on the yen, unfortunately. Sideways. We had that big push up this morning. We didn't get up to gather my second order in at 125 ADR. I've got a pending order sitting underneath the lows, so when we get a reversal alert, I'm going to get into a second short on this. But yeah, nothing happened with CPI, unfortunately. So next news this afternoon is CAD rates and then the CAD press conference. So I'm going to have a look at some CAD pairs, ahead of that news, and see if they can move the market. Afternoon, Gary. Boss is on holiday. Excellent. So that's the plan there. All these New Zealands obviously lit up like a Christmas tree today. Swiss yen has also pushed, and the Aussies have also obviously had a little bit of a run as well, based off of the New Zealand dollar news. Obviously, the New Zealand dollar and the Aussie dollar are correlated. So we've got a nice reversal alert happened on the Aussie New Zealand at 200 ADR. That looks like quite a nice little short opportunity there. But again, not sure about standing in front of this New Zealand dollar today. It is starting to show signs of slowing down, but obviously New York session's not open yet. They might want a bite of this cherry, so we may get down further today. So I'm not looking to try and fade these New York moves, these New Zealand moves. 225 ADR. We are stopping, but you've got to have balls to stand in front of a steam train that fast. Even though it looked like it was rejecting New Zealand Swiss, look, it's just it looks spot on. Look, got lovely triple bottom. We got a lovely hammer, but why not just carry on going? Some massive change in the New Zealand dollar financial outlook, so we'll see. DAX this morning, decent moves to the downside. So from a daily perspective, we're putting in a nice bear candle at the moment. We have pushed down an awful long way today. So we've put in a fairly decent move already. The Globex session on the US indices is down slightly. So there is more room for movement there. Dow being down more than the rest at the moment. So there is more downside movement on the US indices. So we will see. But the CADs, look at the RSIs. Aussie New Zealand is lit up on the hourly. Obviously that pushed up fairly nicely. The pound New Zealand lit up as well. 225 ADR on that. Oh, more than that, aren't we? So what are we, 37 for a quarter ADR. We've gone up to 77, so we're about 275 ADR. I mean, just don't even measure that long. You know, you're getting on 2% chance of it going beyond that point. There's no point in going any further than that. This is not a normal event, is it? Obviously, so yeah, crazy extension. We've gone literally in 8 hours. We've gone from being extended to the downside on the RSI to be extended on the upside. Huge. Huge move. New Zealand dollar CAD as well, massive extension to the downside, and New Zealand US. So again, these are all up to you if you want to fade these. Stop, enter, see if it does. If it does, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It's lovely risk reward on it. Just try it on one maybe. Do you know what the one to do is New Zealand dollar CAD. If we get a load of CAD weakness, potentially that could fly. That's probably the best one to take, isn't it? Might have a go on that actually. As a CAD entry, small position. It's worth a go, isn't it? As soon as we've got CAD news coming up, not a massive risk. But pretty good reward. Not quite sure where to target that. That's really not much reward though, is it? So I'll be looking sort of return back up to here potentially, and then a continuation down maybe. But we'll see. It's worth a pot. Market's just opened. If you can hear crickets going mad in the background, I've just downloaded the demo of Tick Strike, which is the full version of Tick Strike. So I'm monitoring all the indices and all the main stocks within the NASDAQ to give me an indication of where everything's going and when the strength and weakness is coming in. So I'm just trialing that at the minute. So if it's getting annoying, because I've got it set on quite high sensitivity as well, let me know. Right, so let's watch NASDAQ. See where we're going at the open and see how volatile we are today. So levels on the NAS. We've obviously got the lows, yesterday's low at the moment. Which is down there. And we've got the previous day's low, which is 39.03. So we need to watch for price action around these levels. Take that one off. If we get down there, obviously. Right, so I haven't really got a directional bias on it. I'd like to see it short today. But we'll see where we go at the open. This is quite handy from an indices perspective, specifically for the NASDAQ. So the top stocks in the NASDAQ are Apple, Amazon, Facebook, Google, Microsoft, and Netflix. And I've also put Nvidia in there and Tesla. So those are your top stocks. So if you see all these going red at the same time, the NASDAQ is obviously going to come down quite hard. NASDAQ being there. The NASDAQ tends to lead the S&P. So if you see this lot go red, the NASDAQ go red, you can short the S&P or the Dow. So the idea is we're looking for this to light up one colour. And then that's an indication, right, want to hit long now. Yeah. obviously we want the stocks to light up rather than the indices. Or all indices at once. There's lots of ways to use it, but it's basically correlation on what's going on in the market, which is what we look at on the charts. But it's just another visual aid and an audio aid to. Just going to see if I find it useful or annoying. Highly likely it's going to become very annoying. I might need to turn the wick down on it because you've got loads of settings. It's quite good because you can fine tune it. I've got it set to high sensitivity at the moment. There's lots of different sensitivity levels. So it's got to move faster and harder to light up. But when you're scalping 1 minute, you want to know as fast as you can what's going on. So I'm having it on fairly high sensitivity to see how it helps. I know everybody's at a different stage of trading, but somebody's just asked in the Telegram group how to set a moving average on MetaTrader 4. Not being funny, but there's this thing called Google. It's got loads of answers to pretty much every question you could possibly ask of humanity. We're really coming into a Telegram group to ask how you add a moving average to the chart. Sorry. So very wicky at the minute. A lot of up and down. We've just taken out the lows of the session. A lot of buying pressure coming in at the minute. Rejecting these lows. Got lots of good wicks down here. So all the sellers are being absorbed at the minute. But it's very, 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 very quick and volatile. Possibly better to be watching M5 here at the minute. I'm just going to wait for this to calm down a bit. It's a bit too wicky at the moment. The Dow's gone through the roof. Going long on the Nasdaq. Everything's going through the roof. So I'm just taking a shot on the Nas long. This might well backfire, but everything else has really gone for it at the open. A lot of money coming into Facebook, Nvidia, Tesla. This is the use of it. Confluence. Looking for confluence of stock purchasing, which obviously will drive up the indices. You want to pick the biggest stocks out there, selling on the Dow. More buying. A lot of buying on all stocks. This is what this is for. Closing out at 0.3. Quick scalp at the open. I don't want to hold this too long. We've just hit the highs here. So obviously there's a load of sellers stepping in now. This propulsion gap here is where the sellers have stepped in twice so far. Pre-market. That's where they're stepping in again at the minute. That's why I got out of that one. Basically this zone here is high sell zone. Nice little scalp though at the open. We'll see what happens. Next 5 minute candle. But we certainly got the opening range breakout there, didn't we? Move. Big moves to the upside on the DAX as well. Everything's gone pretty hard at the open. US dollar yen's in profit now. Pound US dollar's not gone anywhere. See what's happening with these New Zealand pairs. Not a lot. How long we got to the news? 20 minutes. Just marking the highest session as well and yesterday's high. Just so I've got those on the chart. A lot of rejection up here, a lot of sellers stepping in. Another good reason to use this tick strike across all of these is we're seeing continuous buying coming in across the stock market, but no more higher pricing. We are now, so they've broken through. But when you see this lit up green, showing lots and lots of stock purchase, but you're butting into a level like that and you're seeing wicks generated minute by minute, it's showing absorption of the sellers. So the sellers are absorbing all this buying pressure that's coming in. Eventually that buying pressure will stop. The sellers will just take over and collapse it. So it's really good for two reasons: for showing confluence of lots of stock purchase at the same time, which gives you a spike to the highs. But also if you see a lot of purchasing coming in and no more movement to the highs, you know you've got a short coming. In theory, obviously. Absorption principle. Okay, short one of the DAX.
Just a reminder for you, 9:50 a.m. Eastern Time up until 11 a.m. Eastern Time. US Treasury Secretary Yellen is due to be speaking.
Reason for the short is that whacking great rejection up at those highs. We had a massive flurry of buyers coming in there, didn't we? We couldn't get any higher. So taking a chance that the sellers are taking over now. So what I'm looking for is this to light up red. If it lights up green, probably want to get out fairly quick. Let's leave that over there so you can see what it's up to. FTSE's really flying as well. Nasdaq at the moment is the only thing that's really showing signs of weakness. All the other indices are looking pretty good still. Okay, closing that out. Loads of buying coming in. Wow. Big moves. So another use for this as well for tick strike is confluence at levels. So when we get up to these highs, high of session, high of yesterday, if we suddenly see that all turn red, it's likely we're going to get a rejection at those highs. I won't keep it. I'll keep it on there all the time. Big strong push. 20 minutes news. While we're waiting for this to settle a little bit, and try to get a pullback basically to get along on this, but I'm not taking 1 bar pullbacks at the minute. It should be really. It's very, very, very strong, but I kind of want to wait for a bigger pullback if I'm going to get along on this. I'm not sure it's going to let me. I'm just watching to see if I get an opportunity to get in. The other RSIs we've got extended, Aussie New Zealand still on the 4 hour. We've got a very good rejection on this Aussie New Zealand. At these highs. So we've rejected beautifully there. We're just about to get a reversal on the hourly. But obviously this is running into this New Zealand dollar steam train. So Aussie New Zealand obviously is New Zealand dollar weakness. We're seeing the Aussie dollar rise. So you're kind of trading into that New Zealand dollar weakness. So potentially a little tricky. It's not giving any opportunities to pull back at all, that NAS. Still going. So it's very nicely extended, and it's bumped straight into a lovely resistance at 200 ADR. So confluence is absolutely beautiful on it. I'm just not sure about shorting into this massive New Zealand dollar weakness at the minute. So we've also got the Aussie dollar employment change tomorrow morning. So just turn the news off one sec. So yeah, difficult one from a short perspective. It does look pretty good. Not a lot of risk on it either. 30 pip risk. And potential reward is going to be coming back down into this gap here where we broke out the highs. This is where the propulsion move started. So it's got a decent amount of room to the downside on it. I'm just not convinced this New Zealand dollar is going to get any strength today. So it's a tricky one. Swiss yen had that short on, which I got stopped out on. So they've literally just taken the liquidity from ADR and run, unfortunately. Still going. Ugh, should have taken an opening range breakout on that today. Shouldn't have exited the long, really, should I? Who'd have known, though, that was going to happen? That's a massive, massive move. This thing's lit up like a Christmas tree. It's not stopping. Just can't get in. Need a pullback. That's not giving any opportunity to pull back. So chances are we're going to just get up to resistance without me on board, which case I will be looking for shorts up here. So just going to wait until we get up the top. So yeah, Swiss yen came off of ADR, lovely ADR reversal this morning. Straight off of ADR and then hasn't looked back since. Pound yen, again pound pushed up. We are starting to weaken a little bit, but I'm looking for the pounds to try and get for a double top if we can. Same as the well, the pound New Zealand is different, but same as the other yen pairs out there that we're waiting to see if we can challenge these highs. The US dollar yen obviously is the one that screamed out the highs, but not ready to take a short on this yet. Pound New Zealand, but it's nicely extended for when we do. If we could get another push back up to there, we should get another push back higher, and that'll be when I'll look to short that. Pound New Zealand flying to the upside, obviously. New Zealand dollar weakness. Difficult to get into. Again, this one, things that just scream off to the upside. Still going, the NAS. This market's really, really, really pumping ahead of this Canadian news. We've got 10 minutes to the news. Pound New Zealand. New Zealand dollar CAD obviously smashed to the downside. I've got my buy ready on this. Might switch that. Yeah, M5. M5 is the same level as M15, so it doesn't matter which time frame you look at on that. The entry's the same. So I've got buy stop there. See if we can get a move off the back of the Canadian dollar news. Nicely extended on the 4 hour. New Zealand dollar Swiss, same thing. New Zealand dollar weakness pushed us down. There's not really, we're kind of double bottoming here. This is a good level. Yeah, tapped straight into that level, rejected it. So potentially that's a bounce point, but at the moment it's looking bearish, as if it wants to continue to the downside. So again, not really wanting to stand in front of these yet today. And New Zealand dollar, US dollar, nothing off of CPI that helped it. Yeah, still down. So difficult to know where these are going, these New Zealand dollars. We could well have a couple of big down days off of this. Looking at the potential, we could see something like this cascade. This is not good news for the New Zealand dollar, putting the rates up early. So obviously market's reacting accordingly to that. And US dollar yen is the one that's extended to the upside, which I'm short on at the moment. Got another short opportunity as we break this reversal alert. Basically this propulsion move. I want to see this propulsion move undone basically and take another short, assuming we're going to come down through that accumulation. But we didn't get there. I was expecting this to happen on CPI, but we didn't. But very nicely extended on the daily. Massive extension on the daily. Massive extension on the 4 hourly. And we've got this level that we are just toying around with at the moment. There's going to be limit orders up here. People are going to be shorting up here. So it's whether or not we can get the momentum to get this move started to the downside. So it's good risk reward if it does kick off. Which hopefully it looks like it is starting to, but we need some more momentum on it. Okay, so stocks are selling. Got a bit of a 2-bar pullback. Do we want to take a 2-bar pullback? Up into these areas. I'm much more inclined to wait for us to get up here and start to sell. But equally, this could be just an all-day trender, couldn't it? Look at it. Let's have a go. Going long one. And I'm going to keep an eye on what happens up here and see if we can get momentum to push through these levels. So 14,100. So this whole area that we're in here, where we've been sitting now for a couple of days, this is the 14,000 flat level. Yeah, so there's 14,000 there. We're in price discovery phase at the moment, whether or not we want to reject 14,000 or whether we want to push down below 14,000. So the market's stuck in the middle at the minute, undecided as to which direction it wants to go from here. Now the sellers are starting to come in. Yeah. I want to see some good rejection down here and some buyers. Just see if we can propel ourselves back up into that area. Got 8 minutes to the news. Now we're getting the pullback. This is the pullback I wanted to get in long. It's not trending as hard as I thought it was. Typical. I'm going to take a long on my other account as well. I'm just going to wait for this to pull back into the 20. See if we can get up into that area from the 20. Might get stopped out on this before we get there, but we'll see. Might get some buying coming in. Okay, just put a buy stop above there. I'm just going to reduce the risk on that second position. I don't want to give this too much room to breathe. It's either going to go or it's not. Not really looking for a massive reward off this. So I need to reduce the risk a little bit on it. So we just get a bit of rejection up here at these highs. This is possibly where we're going to get our pullback. We have made a new high though. Not a new high on the Globex session though. No, this is going to stop out by loads of things. Got it at the wrong time there. I was basically looking for a continuation pullback. Just that small pullback, push, small pullback, push, small pullback, push. Didn't get the third push. So how's everybody's morning been? Profitable or non-profitable? Some good opportunities today across all the indices. We had lovely drops. All very nice trending moves. Going long one on the DAX. Just give it a little bit more breathing room. Nasdaq even, not DAX. I think I said DAX then, didn't I? Slightly deeper pullback than I was anticipating on that. It's very difficult on the 1 minute chart to gauge those pullbacks because you get these silly little 1 bar pullbacks. Then you get a bit of a 2 bar pullback and it's like quite often that's where it goes from. And then it starts to slow down. But equally, obviously, this could be start of a complete reversal for all we know. Haven't taken any entries yet today. Why not? It has been quite tricky, actually. It's not the easiest of moves. I was quite lucky with my positions today. I was basically playing that and I got it. So could equally have just done that today. It was very mixed, but can't make your mind up. Long or short. FTSE's coming down very hard. DAX is coming down very hard. Dow is coming down hard. S&P is also coming down hard. So I'm just going to protect this. Just going to move my risk up on this a little. Aussie dollar CAD just hit ADR. There's our news. Actual rate on the CAD is as forecast. 1% against the forecast of 1%. Just going to stop out on that by the looks of things. Big dip down there on New Zealand CAD. Look at that spread. So rate as expected. No shocks on the CAD. So increased. We got the press conference at 4 in an hour's time. So we've got potentially more volatility on the CAD a little bit later as well. Just going long US dollar CAD on my other platform. Just going to try a quick long on it. Just to see if we get some momentum off of this move. Wow. Okay, going on one US CAD. Give it a little bit of breathing room. Probably getting that New Zealand CAD as well in a second. Gosh, big old spread on this, so I'm just giving it a bit of room. Get gathered up in that spread. See if we get some momentum to the downside on the Canadian dollar off the back of that. So the rates have gone up, which was sort of factored in as an expected. So slightly negative for the CAD, but it's whether or not there's any money left to dump on it. It's probably all factored into the market. So we'll see. Okay, try one more on the NASDAQ here. Nice bounce at 50. So 50% retracement and 50 moving average. So seeing if we're going to get continuation long. Back up into these highs. So everybody basically that has longed off the back of that pullback today, it's just been taken out. XCap trend. Good morning. Please send me response by email. Not quite sure what that means. You're from Brazil, studying your contents. Thankful. Good. Glad you're enjoying it. I still don't know quite what you want me to email you, though. US dollar CAD's coming down. Not sure we're getting any strength or any weakness, rather, off the Canadian dollar on the back of that. Unfortunately. We'll see. We were just starting to pull back before the news came in, so we didn't manage to make a new high there. We've just managed to get a new low put in, so we're still kind of sideways at the minute, but we'll see if we get that push. Weakness on the CAD will be kind of medium term if it's going to happen, so it's not something that necessarily is going to fly immediately, but see. Be nice if we can get a decent push up today. Diamond, I keep talking myself out of it. I'm apparently still not over my mental block. Was that getting into trades? Yeah. Just got to hit the button. Hit it. See what happens. It's all about planning. My idea here, you got to have an idea and you got to execute the idea. So my idea here is we've seen this fly. I'm trying to get long up into this area. Yeah, so I've seen it pull back. Quite often it pulls back to somewhere around about the 50, 60 retracement, or the 50 moving average, or the 20 moving average. So somewhere around here I'm looking to get long up to there. That's literally what I've done, is I've hit the buy button somewhere around there. I've added to it because it looks like it's working. Simple. Simple as that. No complication at all. It's going up. I'm looking to try and get in on the next leg. This layout that I've got on this platform is really helpful if you want to try and trend trade on the low time frames. Yeah, I've got obviously the MAs on here, but this makes it clear as mud. Clear as mud. Clear as day. If it was clear as mud, it wouldn't make any sense, would it? Yeah, it's green. Looking for longs. Yeah, when it turns red, look for shorts. I shorted this all day today because it was red. Every time it pulled back, I shorted it. And one point, it's going to do that. And that's the one where you're out. And then you flip long. The danger is, obviously, it just goes red, green, red, green, red, green. And you get whipped out. And that happens as well. But you've got to make a decision one way or the other. I'm just going to break even on this. We're not making a new high at the minute, so I'm just protecting this position. In fact, I'm going to take 0.3. US dollar CAD's looking like it's rejecting fairly nicely. Come back to that in a minute. So S&P in a deep pullback. Dow, same thing. So we had this big propulsion move, which we're just pulling back into now. So to expect to see potentially some buyers start to step in here if we are going to get a push up to the next high. But obviously market structure at the moment is short. So that's a pullback short potentially on the Dow. Difficult spot here. So could equally be a long. Okay, again, one more long on the DAX. NASDAQ rather, sorry. Just playing off this long wick. So my English understanding is not very well. I need to read the PowerPoint slowly. Could you maybe send me a PowerPoint? I don't have any PowerPoints, I'm afraid. It's all on video. Yeah, I haven't got any PowerPoints, I'm afraid. It's all video. In hindsight, I should have produced some PowerPoints, but I didn't. I haven't got PowerPoint. I don't use PowerPoint. Everything is all video slides, so I haven't actually got them from the bootcamp. That is going long. One more DAX, NASDAQ. I will get the DAX and the NASDAQ right one day. Promise. It's because they both got DAT in. Confuses my little brain. US dollar CAD's coming down. Oh, very nearly got stopped out on that. Didn't get gathered up into the New Zealand CAD buy. We seem to have gone to sleep. So I've got a symmetrical triangle forming. I'll probably take it from there actually. I'm going to get a breakout one way or the other on this. Just going to reduce risk on that second position. Just wondering if we're not going to wait until the press conference for the CAD, are we? Gone very, very slow. Whole market. Everything's doing the same. The minute contracting ready for a pop, one way or the other. Long one more. Buyers. Okay, closing at 1.5%. Just letting one run on my other account. I've got those same 3 positions running on the NAS on the other account. I'm just letting that one run. It's $500 in profit at the minute. I'm just going to see if we can get a little bit of a home run on it. Close them all out there though, 1.5. What's going on with that CAD? Stopped out on the US dollar CAD. Which is okay because I've got US dollar yen short. So market structure now. Is long, but we're coming straight up into resistance. So this is the area that I'm looking to sell in. So I'm looking to see what happens up here. What type of rejection we get, if any, up at these highs. So we're starting to reject the highs there. So looking for some bearish price action to come in. Ideally, I'd like this to scream through and just fly because I've got a runner on it. So that would be nice. We've got crude in 1 hour as well. That's interesting. Crude's not on the calendar for some reason. Why is that? Oh. Crude's been downgraded, look. Crude used to be orange. I only have orange and red. Crude's been downgraded to yellow for some reason. Interesting. I wonder if that's something to do with what's going on in Russia. That's always been orange. I'm not quite sure why they've decided to... Do you know, I was looking at this on whenever I went for the news on Monday, and I was looking for crude. I was like, why is there no crude? I thought maybe they're having a week off, but Wednesday we always have crude oil inventories. Always have done. So not quite sure. They obviously don't like crude anymore. So we've broken the highs, symmetrical triangle breakout. So I'll leave that line in. Quite often with a symmetrical triangle break, when you get a pullback, you get respect off the lower line. So it's worth keeping in there for a deep pullback. But we'll see if we can get some more upside on this. This is where I'm kind of looking for rejection. which we seem to be getting a little bit of, but I want to see some selling pressure come in at the moment. We've got triple bottom here. So there's, we are quite happy to continue by the looks of things at the minute. Got crude in 10 minutes. Okay, long one more. Got slipped a bit there. So just watching this area. Ideally looking for a bounce to continue long. But equally we could get some selling pressure start to come in here, just accumulating at the minute. So we're continuously making new highs. But no real strength of movement at the minute. If we get the, if we start making new lows, I'll jump out. Looking for the next pop here at this level. Want to see basically as soon as we get here, I want to see this like pop through the top. Give it a good push. And then we should get some momentum to the upside. If we don't get that pop and we just sort of tap off of it and the sellers absorb, that means there's a load of limit orders. There'll be a load of limit sellers sitting here. So limit sellers will just be placing limit orders here, waiting for that to hit, and they'll be defending these shorts that they've entered today. So as we pushed up, short sellers came in, took control of the market. Buyers are trying to break that now. So the short sellers will be sitting here with limit orders, protecting their positions. If there's more buyers coming through than there is limit orders sitting there, the sellers will take a loss and the buyers will pop through the top, and you'll see that physical pop. And equally, if we get a load of buying action coming in here and we're not able to crack this level, it means that the buyers are eventually going to run out of stock and they will just give up and the sellers will just collapse it. We'll see absorption happening. So we'll see loads of buying coming in and long wicks to the upside. You see how fast it comes down when the buyers stop buying. Right on top of it now. Just reducing risk. Here come the sellers. Just got my finger hovering over the close button on my other platform. I'm just watching this area like a hawk. It's either going to go flying or it's going to come down fairly hard. So just get ready to get out, depending on what they do at this level. So we haven't managed to get through. Limit orders 1 out at the moment. Closing. No, not getting through there. Not on this attempt anyway. So potential now for a pullback. Take another run up. So nice little short here, but counter trend short back down into this area. Okay, we've got a double bottom forming on the 5-minute chart. All the other indices are pulling back ever so slightly as well. Very similar price action. Okay, it's the end of this 5-minute candle. We haven't managed to break those lows. Oh, no, we have. That is why you wait until the candle closes. So we've got new lows. Crude oil inventories are out. $9.38 million, forecast 1 million, previous 2.4 million. So I'd imagine oil is just taking a dive. Yeah. Okay, long DAX, Nasdaq rather. So used to trading the DAX. There we go. We're just trying to pop that high. See that pop there? We got through. Now we popped it. Big buying flurry coming through. Damn, didn't have that on the other platform. Never mind. So that was a pretty short run up. Let's get through. Lots of strength in this in the indices today. So basically strong trend. Literally we're getting one bar pullback since the open. So hopefully we get another couple of bars to the upside. But it's all got to end at some point. So next high is basically ADR today. Yesterday's high, around about ADR. There's a few other levels potentially we could bump into. That level there is held previously. That's worth putting on. So that one there. So that low that we bounced off has acted as support. We've bounced off of it there. We've acted as support. So it's a fairly strong level, 141.30. Keep an eye on that. Possibly rejecting these highs. So see if we break down. Just going to wait for this candle to close. If we break down below this, we may be coming back the other way. Yeah, Dow's gone hideously sideways. Not really interested in anything. If we look at on the 1 minute chart, we're in just hideous chop land at the moment. Not looking pretty at all. Got 1 minute left on this candle. Want to see them break back above these highs. See if we can close back above there really. Nice double bottom. So that 5 minute didn't hold. We didn't manage to hold those highs. We got the pop through, but sellers have stomped on top and are starting to settle in now. So we could have a double top rejection going on here. So we'll be looking for shorts below this low. Equally, this is just a 1 bar pullback, but that doesn't look good. Very mixed. Yellen is currently speaking. Can't imagine anything good is going to be said. She's talking about the global economy, which is obviously trashed. Closing. We haven't broken these lows yet, but that rejection to me looks like it's a short now. I'm just waiting to see if we break these lows. Get a reversal alert on the 5 minute up here. So it's just basically a double top. We have to sell it back down. Or triple bottom rejection. We've got at the minute. Can't believe that US dollar CAD. Hideous whipsaw, didn't go anywhere. Going to cancel that pending off New Zealand CAD. It's not, the CAD's not doing anything, is it? So there's no point in leaving that running. One minute left on this candle. Looking to see if we can get these lows broken for a short. And short one. 30 seconds ahead of time here. This candle is not closed yet, so this is a bit of a premature entry, but I think it's worth a shot. Also selling into support here, potentially. Okay, so we've got a reversal alert with a rejection at a double top. Pretty good confluence. Doesn't get much cleaner than that. Doesn't mean it's going to work, but Dow is just approaching lows. Got some rejection showing now. Okay, decent rejection at this double bottom. So potentially this is just a deep pullback. So we may well be breaking back through those highs, putting in a new leg. I'm just going to reduce this down. If we get much higher than that, I think I want to be again long bias. So this propulsion, this accumulation and propulsion gap basically is being held. So I'm going to try a long again. Obviously danger here is just getting whipsawed out, but it looks more long than short now. Can't get rid of that line. That was on the Dow, wasn't it? Let's get rid of that a minute. So we've had those 3 down days, so we are definitely due a little bit of a pullback. It's a little bit undecided though today, isn't it? Now we're up at these highs. Jeez, can't make your mind up. Going Christmas tree now. Green, red, green, red, green, red. It's a bull flag, but we're not getting the bull breakout at the minute. So, see, slight danger of getting chopped to death up here, which can be incredibly costly. So I might call this the last trade if this one doesn't work out, because I can't call this long or short at the minute. Hopefully this is just a little bit of a flag pullback. So these lows really are line in the sand. If we break these lows again, we're either just going to accumulate or potentially pull back down today, and this is our high of day. But this is just kind of a two-leg pullback potentially for the long move, but we broke out of there quite easily, but rejected very, very quickly, which is what sort of worries me about that double top. The short didn't work out at the moment. I'm not going to give it any more room to the downside, I don't think, than what we've got there. Press conference is about to start in 10 minutes for the Bank of Canada. No, stopped out. Not sure on direction on that now. Can't get any more longs on it. So I don't quite know where that one's going to go from the highs. We're kind of just sitting there accumulating at the moment. We've got the reversal alert, but if you go with a very wide stop above there, the way this has gone today, the risk reward is not worth it on a trade that high. So, you know, if you're getting in anywhere around here, you've got such a big stop on the position to get a 1-to-1. You've got to bank on it getting back down to these lows. And we've just made a new high. So that would be kind of the extreme of a pullback if we are going to go long today. So I don't really see any real simple trade idea there. So I might call that a day on that one. US dollar yen's the only thing I've got on at the moment. Pound Swiss has just hit ADR as well. Big movements today. Pound Swiss off to the races. So tomorrow, news-wise, we've got the conference in 5 minutes for Bank of Canada, or 10 minutes. So watch out for that. Might get some more Canadian dollar movement. Tomorrow morning, we've got unemployment for Aussie. Then we've got the refinancing rate. So we've got the interest rates basically for Europe, and then the ECB press conference, and then retail sales ahead of market open. So very busy day again tomorrow. So you need to be watching out for all pairs again tomorrow. Loads and loads of volatility. But we've had lots of volatility today and not a massive amount of movement. But the main, obviously, movers were the New Zealand dollar. So everything's gone into the New Zealand dollar today. As you can see, that's where all the money has disappeared to. Pound Swiss, massive move to the upside. That looks like potentially Swiss franc. Yeah, so that's Swiss franc weakness we're seeing. So you'll see all the Swiss franc pairs shooting off to the upside, apart from the Aussie, which is weak because of the New Zealand dollar. So yeah. So the only thing I've got running at the moment is US dollar yen still as that short. So that's the wrong one. That's the 4-hour RSI extension short that I'm playing at the moment. Getting into a second position on that one. If we get a break of this low, we're not gone anywhere. Look, so far this session, it's just nothing happening, is there? So looking for a break of that low to get into a second position. And then I'll watch what happens if we get down to ADR today. I will probably take part of that off and let the other part run. But this one's got potentially a decent amount of movement, but we need some yen strength to come through. We're just lacking that at the minute, that yen strength. So still. But 4-hour RSI extension, you've got your Swiss yen. Beautiful bearish engulfing on the Swissy. Straight off of ADR. There's beautiful ADR reversal today. Just annoying, missed it. I got stopped out on it basically as it reversed. So I was in right, but I was in day early. So Swiss yen, lovely bearish engulfing going in there. So that's another nice looking short with the yen, but I'm on the US dollar yen, so I'm not going to over leverage myself and get into another one short on that at the moment. I shall wait and see what happens on that one and just run the US dollar yen short. Okay, that's all for this afternoon. Anything you need, let me know in the Telegram group. I'll be back tomorrow morning at 7:50 for the Frankfurt session. Obviously, be aware of all this news this afternoon with the press conference for the Bank of Canada in 5 minutes, and then obviously Aussie dollar and unemployment rates tomorrow before the Frankfurt session. So decent movement potentially overnight in the New Zealand dollar and the Aussie dollar again during the Asian session to watch out for. So could be a good one again tomorrow. All right, good luck everyone, and I will be back tomorrow same time, and hopefully we'll see you then. Have a good afternoon.